Who is the best football player of your life? I'm guessing it was Larry Fitzgerald, but is it?
No, I have to go with Paul Palmer. Paul Palmer's just got inducted to the NCAA Hall of Fame. Led the nation in rushing 2 years when I was the head coach at Temple. And first-round pick of the Chiefs. Pound for pound, the best player I've ever coached. Larry Fitzgerald's the best human being I've ever coached. He is, when you talk about Larry, you have to talk about the person first, then the player. What he does on the field, God gave him great gifts. He works at his craft hard. Yeah. But what he does off the field is amazing.
More of the Zach Gelb Show on Fox Sports 920 The Jersey.
That was Colin Cowherd yesterday with the recently retired Bruce Arians talking about Paul Palmer. And B.A. said, pound for pound, Paul Palmer is the best player he's ever coached. Welcome back in. It's the Zach Gelb Show, Fox Sports 920 The Jersey. I loved hearing Bruce Arians say that yesterday. As you know, Paul Palmer is a good friend of the show. And over the last few years, I've been imploring for him to be in the College Football Hall of Fame. Well, the wait is over. The runner-up in the 1986 Heisman Trophy presentation, the fantastic back at Temple University, is finally getting into the College Football Hall of Fame, and he found that out the other day. So let's head out to the David Lerner Associates hotline and welcome in my friend Paul Palmer. Boo-boo, congratulations. What's happening?
Nothing much, man. I'm just riding the wave, man. Just riding the wave.
Well, it's unbelievable. So take me through, because I've been waiting for this for a while. We knew it was coming. It was a long time coming, and you deserve this more than anybody. Take me through when you found out you got that call that you're going to the Hall of Fame.
You know what? I had known about it for a couple of weeks, as a matter of fact, about a week and a half. I'll say about a week and a half. So I had to kind of sit on it. I couldn't tell people. Yeah, well, I couldn't tell people because... And
that's tough for you because you don't like to keep things quiet.
Yeah, no, something like that is hard to tell. You know, but it's funny. I told a couple people. I told my wife. She screamed at the grocery store and started crying. I told a couple of my buddies in a couple hours later, one of my best friends, one of my football player friends at Temple, texted me and said, man, I'm getting so choked up just thinking about it, man. I'm so happy for you. So I had known for a couple of weeks, and I just had to sit on it, man. It wasn't easy.
And I'll tell you, you told me this when I did the piece on you a few years ago, that when you get in, everyone at Temple that has been a part of your journey gets in a little piece with you as well. So reflect on some of those teammates. You heard B.A. talk about you with Colin Cowherd yesterday. Just what does that mean to you, knowing that you get to enjoy this with your teammates and your brothers?
I mean, you know, it's absolutely incredible. You know, if you ever notice when we're on the road, there's always a couple guys around me. A lot of times my main group of guys, there's about 8 to 10 of us, but my guys travel. If not all of them, a couple of them travel to every game. So it's as much to them as it is to me. All the times, all the running I did on the field and all the stuff I did in the weight room, they did the exact same thing I did, except I got notoriety. And then when it comes, you know, my family, you know, I've been blessed with an incredible family that has nurtured me, and they love me to death, and we try to treat each other with respect as much as possible, and that's kind of the whole thing that nurtured me. So when I walk in, when you see me, you don't just see me. When you see me, you see my great grandmother who raised me from the time I was 3 years old. You see Joe Greenwood and Kevin Jones, two of my best friends. You know, you see Bruce Arians when you see me, and then because my name is Paul Palmer, and my name is associated with Temple University, wherever I go, you see Temple University.
I'll tell you, Paul, as Paul Palmer joins us right now, the College Football Hall of Famer, and it's not going to get old saying that. I love that you bring up your great-grandmother, because that was one of the more emotional stories I've ever heard when you told it to me at Temple University, where your great-grandmother raised you. She got sick when you were at Temple. She just wanted to see you get drafted.
Yeah.
And she was fighting, and then, as you know, you get drafted, you run over to the hospital, and that was her last day. So it was
I went to the hospital.
Crazy story.
I went to the hospital, and she was in a coma. And right before she went in, she said, I just want to be around long enough to see him get drafted. So we visited her, a couple of my buddies, and some family members visited her talked to her at the hospital. I got back home. I had to do interviews and what have you. Larry Brown from ESPN, he was at my house at the time, and a couple other Washington, D.C. affiliates were at my house. And then about an hour and a half later, my family came home. 2 hours later, my family came home, and they told me she had passed. But she did exactly what she said she wanted to do. She wanted to be there long enough to see me get drafted. And once she knew I was drafted, she let go.
Paul, also tell the story about how you ended up at Temple University, because they were the only school to offer you, and it was actually they were looking at your friend, not even you.
Yeah, they were. I think they were there looking at my best friend, and then while they were there, they noticed me. And wait, going back to what BA said, about me being part of that is, part of it, you have to kind of understand that he was a 32-year-old head coach. He was young. He was just trying to get talent. He saw me. He's the only head coach that thought I was good enough to play Division I ball. He offered me. So no one else saw in me what he saw in me. And for him to see that in me, and 4 years later for me to be a Heisman Trophy candidate and runner-up and win be a first-round draft pick, I was surprised on one hand. I was surprised that he verbalized it, but always felt in his heart that he kind of felt the way about it. I was kind of embarrassed, like when he said it, because it just kind of embarrassed me. But Coach is an honest guy. Coach is a loyal guy. I'm sorry to get off topic. Coach is a very loyal guy, and I'm in that respect, I'm not surprised that he said me.
And I know how much he does love you, because I remember I've talked to him over the years, and he always talks about those Temple guys. When he's back in Philly in the NFL, you guys always show up to see him. So there's definitely a close connection after all these years. Hey, when you went to Temple, Paul,
Yes.
Obviously no one could have predicted what ended up happening, and you've told the story before how one of your coaches said if you just hold on to the ball, you're going to be the greatest running back in Temple University history. So how long did it take you? You've always been a confident person, but how long did it take you to understand that you could do what you were able to do at Temple University?
Well, actually, BA was the person that said that to me. I used to fumble the ball, and the ball used to just come flying out my arms at practice and roll end over end like a kickoff, end over end kickoff, a squib kick like 20 yards downfield. You know what? I didn't know. You know what? I was 18. I was about 165 pounds. I didn't know any better. I really didn't. I was just out there running around playing. I was just doing what I had naturally done. I had no idea that I probably should have been afraid. I probably shouldn't have been out there, but I just didn't know any better. What happened to me, the first time I really got a chance to touch the ball was against Boston College, and Doug Flutie is on the opposite sideline, and ended up having like 11 carries for 98 yards. And from that point, in about 3-4 weeks later, all of a sudden I was named the starter. So that Boston College game was like, wow, oh my God, I can't believe it. Doug Flutie's over there, and I'm over here, and I'm having, I'm doing this. But until then, I didn't know any better. I was so naive. I really was naive. I didn't know any better.
When you look back at your Temple experience, and it still means a whole lot to you being their color football analyst along with Harry Donahue and Harry Mays, when you take a look back at your time at Temple, what stands out the most, and what does it mean to be a Temple Owl?
Oh, man, what stands out the most? Whew. Oh, man, there's so many different things. I guess what stands out the most to me is that, like, I've had – one, I'm blessed. I was fortunate. I was lucky. It was the only Division I school to offer me a scholarship. But what stands out the most is that I have the most incredible teammates and friends that anybody could ever imagine. And another thing that I realized at Temple, but I don't think other schools realize that, and I don't think other places realize that. We had good ball players. We had great ball players. There's no way that I did the numbers that I did without having good teammates. It's like impossible. It's impossible. And that's the best. Like these guys are absolutely incredible, man. So many of these old guys, when I see them, I tell them I love them. The camaraderie is just absolutely ridiculous. In each other's weddings and in each other's at kids' baptisms and funerals. You know what I mean? And everything. We do everything with one another. So I already have a bunch of guys that are saying they're going to be in New York for the induction. And I have the other guys that are saying they're coming, the same group of guys, they want to come to Atlanta also to the Hall of Fame when that happens too. So I'm just blessed, man. I'm blessed to be around and still be with some of the greatest guys in the world.
For you, nationally the Temple football program can be disrespected, and you guys, there's been a lot of losing years, but to see what the program has turned into now, bowl game after bowl game, winning the conference championship, and you're still get to be a part of this ride, just how about what this program has turned into be?
Well, you know what? I tell you what, I honestly believe, and I believe in giving credit where credit's due. I honestly believe that part of me getting inducted to the Hall of Fame isn't only because of my numbers. Part of it is because the program is getting attention. Now, it's weird. I guess at one point, I scratched the program's back by doing as well as I had done to bring attention to the program. Well, now, as of late, the program has brought attention to me. And I honestly believe because of how well the program is and how well the program is going, it's opened this opportunity to me, and I think it's going to open a lot more opportunities to a lot more people.
Do you think that's why? Because if you look at your numbers, without a doubt, you should be in this College Football Hall of Fame, and even in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, guys have to wait. Like the legendary Mike Haynes, Jerry Kramer is a finalist this year, but he's been waiting for a long time. Do you think that level of disrespect is maybe why you had to wait a few more years than what a player of your stature should have been in a little bit earlier?
I think with the College Football Hall of Fame, unfortunately, I'm sure a lot of the people that voted did exactly what I did. They looked at the list, they went through the list and looked for names that they recognized. Now, sometimes the recognition, or you're recognizing names from from their professional careers, not from their college careers. You know what I mean? You're recognizing names
Sure.
that are most fresh in your mind because you just saw them play a few years ago. And I think that's what happened. I said it. I think that you get so afraid that you're going to be forgotten, and you don't want to be forgotten. And at a certain point, I kind of thought that I was going to be forgotten because it wasn't happening. And I knew the numbers were great. I knew the numbers were good enough to go in if people would look. But then all of a sudden, Marshall Faulk pops up. Then Eric Dickerson pops up. Then, so. And all of a sudden, these are people that had better professional careers. Now, they didn't have better college careers than I did, but they had better professional careers, and therefore they end up getting in before you get in.
How do you recap the 1986 season where a kid from Temple ends up finishing in second place for the Heisman?
Scary. It was really scary. From my junior, the last 3 games of my sophomore year, every game my junior year, and every game except for 2 my senior year were all over 100 yards. Okay, and it was just scary because I couldn't imagine that it was going to keep going. I was worried throughout that year, like that I was going to get an injury because it was just going so well, and I was like, "There's no way that this can continue to go this way. Something's bad has got to happen." So throughout the whole year, I was really worried that I was going to have some catastrophic knee injury or something like that. It's crazy, but I was really worried about that because I just didn't think it was possible for the numbers to repeat what I did the year before. I thought something was going to go wrong.
When you look back at recent history of Temple football, like a player like Tyler Medikevich, who has won some national awards, and the love the university got that year, having College Game Day, beating Penn State, just when you reflect back, because there's no bigger award in college football than the Heisman Trophy, how about the love? Because people were loving on Tyler when he was at Temple, but how about the love that you got on campus in that 86 season? Seeing just a kid from Temple still, once again, like it's amazing that a kid from Temple ends up being the runner-up in the Heisman. So how about the love you got on campus back then?
Oh, it was there was all kind of different things, man. It was just crazy because you could just catch people looking at you, or catch people whispering or wondering, like, is that him? There's another time I was a question in a scavenger hunt. You know what I mean? These girls at the public sorority are running around campus at the scavenger hunt, and they're like, we're looking for PP's signature. And I'm like, I am. And they're like, honestly, guys, they go, oh, no, you're not. And they just ran right past me and started running around.
That's great.
I was 5 foot nothing, and on draft day I was only 189 pounds. So it was just crazy. Someone like Tyler looks the part, and Tyler can be identified easy. You know what I mean? The red hair, and in the gap, the gap between his teeth, and he's big. For me, I just kind of blended in, kind of on campus. And if those that didn't know really didn't know,
I'm telling you, Paul, my mind is still blown. It usually doesn't happen. I just can't believe that you're able to keep this thing a secret for a few weeks. I'm shocked by that. That's unbelievable.
No, it wasn't easy, you know it, and I know I put it on. It could be on Twitter, and I know it's on my Facebook, and I put it on LinkedIn. Like when Rich Bird gave me the ball that said, and that's when it kind of became real. He told me, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll hold my breath. And then when he finally brought the football to me last week and gave me the football that said that, that's when it really became where I could, you know, for lack of a better word, put my hands on it. You know what I mean? That's when it became real, because I had kind of been disappointed these last few years. I had really kind of got to the point to believe where I may not get in.
Well, Paul, once again, congratulations. You deserve this more than anybody. We appreciate it, and we'll be celebrating at the Link this year for another big Temple football season. So congratulations, my friend.
Oh, man, it's going to be fun, man. I'll tell you, I'll be smiling. I'll be easy to find. I'll be the guy with the biggest smile, okay? Look for me.
And you'll probably get a big ring on that finger, too, right?
That'd be nice. I'm wondering. You know, it's funny, real quick. My godmom is like 91 years old.
Okay.
So, you know, I've been thinking, I've been talking to my wife, if I get in, we should get a ring designed. If they don't give me a ring, we should design a ring for the Hall of Fame so I can get this ring off that Coach Arians gave me years ago. So I told my 91-year godmother, she says, well, do you get anything for it? I said, well, Mom, I don't think so. She said, do you give me money? I said, I don't think I get any money. Are you sure you don't get any money? I said, Mom, I don't think I get any money. You should probably ask them if they would give me some money. I said, you know what, Mom? I'm going to call them next week, and I'll ask them if I get any money. So I don't know what I get. I know I can get business cards now, and I can put that stuff on my business cards. So that'll be kind of cool to see.
It's the title, College Football Hall of Famer Paul Palmer.
Man,
it doesn't
crazy.
get old. We appreciate it,
That's
Paul.
Big,
Thank you.
man. That's big. Thank you, guys.
We'll talk to you down the road. There's Paul Palmer joining us. So happy for him.